Hello and welcome to Bobstercast, the podcast for all things Bob's Burgers. I'm Mr. Wizard and I'm joined by Tare.
Hey!
And we're excited to dive deep into the hilarious world of the Belcher family and their quirky friends. From discussing our favorite episodes and moments, to analyzing the show's themes and characters, to possibly even interviewing special guests from the Bob's Burgers community, we'll be bringing you fun and insightful content, possibly every week. So grab a burger, get comfortable, and let's talk all things Bob's Burgers on Bobstercast.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Okay, since this is our very first episode, we're just gonna do some introductions and stuff to the podcast. So I was thinking at first we'd go episode by episode, but I just realized how many episodes there are. There's like 200 something.
So many.
And there's gonna be a lot more.
Yeah.
So we're probably gonna do season by season and then do like highlight episodes, War Power, or whatever it's called, and World War II and stuff like that.
Oh my god.
And then at some point we'll do the movie too.
Yes.
I don't
oh my
know
god.
when.
I'm probably already gonna tell the story for the movie, but for the movie, like the first 5 minutes of the movie, I was just sobbing because of how wholesome it was. I love the movie so much. So like, oh, I'm so excited to talk about the movie. But yeah, the show too is yes.
Yeah. And obviously if you have not watched the show, spoiler alert. So
Spoilers.
you might want to go watch it. All right. So I'm Mr. Wizard. I got into Bob's Burgers like almost a month ago. And how I got into it was we were on a family trip to Florida and we were hanging in a hotel for the night in Kentucky. And there was nothing on the TV, so we just flipped on Bob's Burgers for some reason. And that's how I got into it. I was like, at first, way before that, I was like, it's just going to be another crappy ripoff of The Simpsons or Family Guy or whatever.
Yep. Nope.
But then I actually got into it, and I actually enjoyed it. And I'm one that hates, like, The Simpsons and Family Guy.
Yeah, me too. There are definitely shows that exist, and it's unfortunate, but Bob's Burgers is just so good.
Yeah. And what about you? How did you first get into Bob's Burgers?
So first off, hi, I'm Tara. So the way that I got into Bob's Burgers is actually pretty interesting. Okay, so it's not really that interesting. I have like visual memories of when I was like a kid, like seeing the show and then changing the channel. But then other than that, I think one day when the movie came out, the press like and promos and stuff started coming out for it, and people started to like fall in love with like and talk about the show and all of that. And then and like stuff started coming out about that, and then I started to watch the show. But interestingly enough, I watched the movie first, and then I watched like most of the show. And so it's like, uh, that's that was an interesting to come from. But yeah, that was how I got into it. So that was like a summer interest, I guess.
Okay, now we're gonna talk about our favorite characters. First, we're gonna talk like about our favorite main character, and then our favorite side character.
Yeah, I feel like
So
mine is controversial, but you say main character first.
my favorite main character is either Jean or
Yep.
Louise. It's hard to
they're
decide.
so great in so many ways. My personal is Louise, but that's because it's Louise. Like I just she's so amazing, and she's just like the perfect antithesis of middle school girl, and I love her so much. Gene though is just like his one-liners are so perfect, and he like legitimately is just what it is to be a kid, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So you have the same as mine.
Yes.
And now for my side character, I think it's got to be Mr. Fishoder.
Yes, that's a really good pick. He's so funny. Do you have a story as to why? Was it just because of the character itself?
No, just because of the character itself.
Valid, yeah. My favorite side character is a little weird because it might just be me projecting because I was a weird kid. My favorite side character is Courtney. I know that she can be annoying, but I think she's a real sweetheart, and I love it. Like every time that she comes on screen, I'm like, oh, yes, Courtney episode, and like she messes up, and sometimes she's like really not nice to Jean and them, but I'm just like, she's also just such a sweetheart. So I'm like, I am a Courtney defender until the day that I die, unless she like shreds Louise's hat or something. I don't know. I'm just like, I love her so much, and she's such a sweetheart.
So we'll be going more in depth with these characters in later episodes. All of the Belchers will have their own specific episode. And then side characters, like my favorite, will have like Mr. Fish Odor with all the other fish odors as an episode. Now we're going to talk about the 2 demo pilot episodes.
Yes, yes.
So the first one, it shows that Linda and Bob grinding the meat and talking about the wedding anniversary, but it's not any ordinary burger meat. It's human flesh.
What?
And it turns out this is a family of cannibals who serve human meat from the crematorium next door. And apparently they use the dead bodies of their other neighbor to the right, and that's why there's a new business on the right every episode.
Really? I didn't know it went that in depth. I thought it was just that they were. That's crazy. Oh, so the crematorium was always going to be next to them. That's really interesting.
Yeah, now I want to know if Mort was involved in this or not.
Yeah, it's like it goes much deeper now because it's like, was he involved? Did they give him a cut of the money? Like what process went on here? And just like, I don't know if Teddy would have existed in this universe, which we will talk about Teddy, but if he did, would he have known? Would he have been in on it? It's so crazy to think about.
Yeah.
They would have been a completely different family as well.
How long do you think the Cannibal Bob's Burgers would have lasted?
Oh, I honestly don't really think that long because there's not really a lot of places that you can go with it. You can kind of take it to maybe them running out of bodies or something like, or doing this, or monster of the week, but in like a weird cannibal way, I guess. But there's not really a lot of places you can take that plot, which is probably why they changed it.
Yeah, and then they submitted this pilot to Fox. They liked everything. The family who runs the burger restaurant, but they didn't like the cannibalism so much.
Yeah, they're like, maybe let's not do that. Maybe just a bit.
I mean, it would have been interesting, but
Yeah, for sure.
I like what we got now because
me too.
It's got its own movie and 13 seasons.
It's so good. Oh my gosh. I feel like there's not a show that I've seen like Bob's Burgers in a while, I think. It's very unique for sure.
And then, so they remade it, and everything's like the old normal pilot, I think, from what I've seen of it. It's not as long as the official pilot.
Yeah.
But instead of Tina, we get Daniel Belcher.
Daniel. Good old Daniel. Yeah.
I don't know why they decided to change Daniel to Tina.
But I'm glad they did.
Yeah, I'm glad they did for sure.
Yeah, Tina's lovely.
Also, the animation style in that second demo pilot wasn't. I don't think I would have stuck around that long.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
But then we have the official pilot. Let's go into depth on that.
According to IMDb, the plot goes as follows. Bob rallies a team to cook up some business for the grand reopening. The day takes an unexpected turn when the health inspector pays a visit because of a rumor, and that rumor cannibalism.
Yes. So they were able to reuse that aspect, but still have it not be that they are cannibals.
Yeah.
But I think it starts out with Bob giving a pep talk to the other Belchers, and then he leaves the kids upstairs to do their thing, to work the restaurant, while him and Linda go down and grind the meat.
Yeah.
And then Louise changes the chalkboard from New Baconings, which is a play on New Beginnings, and changes it to the child molester.
The child molester.
which comes with candy.
Uh,
Because that's how child molesters lure
Lord
their victims.
becomes
So we have that, which is pretty funny.
so funny. God, the first episode, like some of the jokes are just so good. Oh my god. Yeah, and the reason that the rumor started, mind you, is because of Louise as well. Because she told her class that. Isn't it? That's why, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. So funny.
So then Bob and Linda are seen downstairs grinding the beef. I mean, it's good that they grind their own beef. I don't know a restaurant that actually does that.
Yeah, they buy it. As someone who works at a burger restaurant, like, we don't grind our own meat. We buy it pre-ground. So commendable for that.
Yeah, and then Linda asks Bob about what day it is, and
What day it is.
yeah, and he doesn't do dates very well. He forgot
Yeah.
his own birthday, Linda's birthday, and a few others, I think.
I think one of them was Jean's birth.
Oh.
And then he's like, "How did it go?" He's like, "It went well." And she's holding Jean in her arm, and it's just like,
Yeah, that was funny.
oh god, yeah. And then Linda reveals that it is in fact their anniversary, 9/3.
Yeah, 9 is divisible by 3.
9 is divisible by 3.
But 6 is divisible by 3 as well.
Yeah.
So is 12.
Yeah, there are many things divisible by 3.
But 3 is the square root of 9. They could have.
Wait.
And there's no other square root of 9.
Wait, yeah. That's so funny. It's Linda, like.
Eventually, Hugo and Ron show up for their inspection. And,
Yeah.
when Bob and Linda go upstairs to check on the kids, he sees that there's an inspection, and Hugo says that it took 5 minutes to list a whole lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the highlight of the episode for me is.
Yes. I love this scene so much.
So you have Hugo saying public decency violations and Bob questioning that. And Hugo telling Bob about the child molester and Bob still being confused about it. So Louise says that she changed the burger of the day to the child molester and somebody actually ordered it.
Yeah. And then it's someone who looks like a child molester.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then after that, they want Jean to serve to serve the child molester to the child molester.
Yeah.
And Jean doesn't want to.
He's like, "Why do I have to get molested?"
Because he's heavy.
And then doesn't Louise go up to him and like, "Come on, who would want to molest this face?"
Yeah. But what Bob meant by that was Jean is older.
Yeah.
Then Jean makes the really good point about Tina being the oldest, but Tina isn't really good with the customers, which Tina argues about that.
I'm great with the customers.
And Louise says that Tina is autistic. But Bob denies that, so we don't know if she's actually autistic or not.
I mean,
I think she is.
Me too. Okay, glad we're on the same page. I think pretty much the whole Belcher family is autistic. They're all.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree. And then Jean throws to test her autism.
Oh my god, yeah. So that was a reference to something else.
Really?
Yeah, where they had like a movie or something or a different show that tested autism with toothpicks, but it's not a real thing, really.
I didn't know that. That's really funny. I mean, like, but still, how many toothpicks? 100? 100. There's for?
And then Louise makes the line of the episode when she says, you're
She's
the
the worst.
worst kind of autistic.
Can't even count.
And as an autistic person myself, I love that line so much.
It's so funny. Oh my god. As a 99% sure autistic person as well, that scene is just, oh my god.
Yeah, that was funny when I first watched it.
Yeah, it's just like the sincerity as well in the delivery and everything.
So then Hugo finds out that Bob is dating Linda, or they're
Yeah,
married now, and
they're married.
it turns out that Hugo and Linda were dating a while back,
Yeah,
and so now Hugo is jealous.
yeah. And then it's found out that wasn't it found out that Linda left Hugo for Bob or something?
Yeah, I think.
I think that's what it was. I don't.
So now, filled with jealousy, Hugo shuts down Bob's restaurant until they can test the meat,
Yeah,
which Hugo lies and says that they can't.
yeah, but they totally can.
I don't know what happens in between now and then when they do the car thing.
The car scene where he's like, "Oh, you want me to help you reverse?"
Yeah, that's the next thing I remember.
The only other thing I remember other than that is the scene where people act grossed out about, them having human flesh and stuff, and then there's like protesters and stuff, and they try to stop the protesters. And then I think one of the scenes that happens when that's going on is Moore is taking care of a body.
Oh yeah, and then the body rolls into the
The
restaurant.
body rolls, and then Glinda's like, a gift for me on our anniversary, and then she opens it and it's a dead body, and then it's proof, and then yeah, a whole mess, really.
So then Bob tries to help Hugo get out of his parking spot, but decides he just wants to do it himself because Hugo is bad.
He's so terrible at it.
And then Bob finds the lab that they could test the meat with in the back of the van.
I think after that, Ron kind of discovered. I think it's the scene where after that they're hiding in the van, and then Ron is like, "We can do the test right now, can't we?" And then Hugo starts, "Yeah." After a while of interrogating, basically, Ron's like, "Yes, we can." He's like, "Let's go do it right now."
Yeah. And then they go back to Bob and say that he doesn't have human meat as a bus full of exotic eating club.
Excited Eaters Club, or I don't remember what it's called, but it was one of those. And they're like, "Do you guys have human flesh?"
And then Bob charges them 50 for every burger. Then Ron and Hugo show up and say they have the test. And before anyone could hear that, he pushed Ron and Hugo away.
He's like shushing him.
Yeah,
And he's like,
as he's getting, yeah.
so good.
So after that, Bob takes Linda to the Wonder Wharf and rides on the Ferris
ride.
wheel or whatever it's called. And Bob said he used the internet
Oh, that's right.
to improve his kissing. And the kids are in the seat behind them and watching it. And I forgot what they said.
I think Tina says, "Mom's really handsy."
Yeah, and
Or James
Louise says
one of the
something.
kids say
Some of they say like it's sick or something.
Isn't it like my life is being ruined up here or something?
And Tina saying that Mom is handsy.
See?
And Louise wants the ride operator of the Ferris wheel to get the ride moving because they don't want to be watching that.
Yeah.
And that's how it ends.
That's how it ends. A perfect ending, really, if you ask me. Oh God.
And then the end credits. There's a lot of fun end credits.
Yeah.
This one is just Louise, Tina, and Bob working in the back of the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So there's other things that we need to talk about too, because there's Exterminator Man.
Yeah.
And
the store.
Yeah. So I'm looking at it right now. The exterminators for this one is Rats All Folks, which is obviously a play on That's All Folks.
That's all, folks.
And then I don't know what the store is a play on. It's PFETA. Let me look that up real quick. Oh, People for Ethical Treatment of Animals. Oh, and they have a secondary sign too, which is Meat is Murder. A fun thing to have right next to a burger restaurant.
Yeah.
And the 2 burgers of the day, I think I already mentioned them, but I'll mention them again. I forgot. No. Oh, new Baconings burger comes. I think
Yeah.
that's just a bacon burger, and it's a
Yeah.
play on New Beginnings.
New Awake. Oh, I thought it was New Awakenings, but it is New Beginnings.
And then the child molester.
The child. Hey, Louise.
Yeah, one of my favorites made by Louise. Yeah, and that's it. So we're gonna end now because I did more than I wanted to do. I just wanted to do the 2 demo pilots. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Yeah.
Special shout out to our editor.
Yeah. Woo!
We'll see you all in the next episode where we'll be discussing and dissecting and analyzing Bob Belcher.
Everything Bob Belcher. Yeah.
Thank y'all for tuning in.